You're the best from now.
Alright, today we're going to review Gundam Wing Endless Duel for the SNES. It was made by Bandai, which is the same people that made the Power Rangers game that we reviewed earlier. And this is also the game came out in 1996, which is fairly recent, I guess, as far as SNES games go. So I guess you'll have to check it out and see how the rest of this video is. In Gundam Wing Endless Duel, you're able to do dashes in a variety of ways. You can either go up, back, or forward. It's done by pressing two buttons at the same time and actually hitting forward or back or up in said direction. You can cancel also into your dashes from any normal that you decide to do. The interesting thing is that when you're going forward or back with your dashes, you're able to block. But there's also a slight drawback to that because you can't block low. The backwards one is useful to, say, get away if you're going to cancel something and you need to space yourself. Basically, every Gundam in this game has a Vulcan which allows you to shoot a volley of bullets at your opponent, save for Epion. When you see the crosshair come up, that shows that you can do the Vulcan at that time. And you're also able to cancel it into any special move you have. An interesting thing about this game is that when you throw, the opponent that ends up breaking actually takes a little bit of damage from the throw. Special moves in this game are done by using the motion and hitting the weak buttons. The EX version is also done by doing that same motion and using the Fierce button. And it takes 100 points from that meter on the top to do an EX version of the move. Your supers, on the other hand, are done by doing double quarter circle forward and the weak button and take 200 meter in order to do those. V8 is actually one of the more interesting characters in the game because V8's crouching jab is one of the few that actually hits low. So it allows you to, put pressure where they'd have to block low to do that. V8 also has a projectile, which, is a regular fireball motion, and also a dragon punch move that allows you to attack afterwards while you're in the air. So it kind of leads to some interesting mix-ups. Also, V8 has a instant full screen super and has one of the few throws in the game that allows you to combo after the bounce of the throw, which leads to bigger damage than everybody else in the game. Mercurius, like V8, has a crouching jab which hits low, which allows you to apply pressure. Also has a shield dash which allows you to go through projectiles and causes knockdown on hit. And that move is also able to be done in the air, which seems pretty good. Mercurius' super, on the other hand, is half screen and can OTG, which shoots lightning on the ground. Now this move is complete bullshit. First off, you're invincible to every move in the game, supers included, except for throws. Now, that would be okay, but it's just, it takes meter. That's fine. But it also allows you to do two other moves. You can throw the shields off, which count as a projectile, or you can do the EX version, which causes a projectile to home in on you and allow you to follow up for a combo. Now, basically, when you do this move, you're able to apply all kinds of pressure because they can't hit you. And if you hit them, it builds your bar back up. And if they try to do anything to you, then they can't, and you could just throw break anyway. Up next is Epion. In order to pick Epion, you have to go on to Tall Geese and enter a code in order to pick them. See, one you have the Tall Geese, the other one has Epion. So now we go into his moves. He has a dash move which goes through projectiles, knockdown on hit. That's pretty good, but his bread and butter really is this short hop, which is, you know, a special move, which is weird. But it allows you to cancel into any move that he has that's not a special. And his super is full screen, shoots a bunch of stuff, homes in, and it OTGs. All of his whip moves are really fast and have really good range. Death Scythe is a pretty simple character. He has his classic projectile. The EX version allows you to teleport up close, and his dashes are invincible, which are pretty cool. Has a regular dragon punch and a super dragon punch, so that's about it. I'm not really sure how good Death Scythe is at comboing. I think he's okay. Does okay damage, I guess. Alright, so here's basically what a match in this game looks like between two good characters, Mercurius and V8. Basically what I want to do with Mercurius is try to get in, rack up as much damage as possible, and hopefully get a knockdown so I can activate the bullshit shield, which I like to call it. There's a grab that I talked about earlier from V8 that does way too much damage because you can combo after the bounce. See, that's regular, just rush down without the actual bullshit shield on. V8's pretty good at zoning as well as rushing down, which shouldn't be able to rush down with somebody that just shoots projectiles. That plasma beam sword seems to be a pretty good anti-air. There is a drawback to the bullshit shield, which you can see right there. It has a little bit of startup, so if you don't cancel into it, then you're usually going to get hit out of it in the beginning. Round 2 is a lot of the same as far as what I'm trying to do. Try to get a little corner rush down, and that throw actually just seems to push you to the other corner, which is retarded because it allows you to get all sorts of pressure. That kick to the throw seems to be guaranteed. Not quite sure if it is, but it's a good tool to use. Now the shield is activated, and here goes the rush down. And basically when your bar gets a little low, you throw them off so you can continue pressure and build up some more bar. And kick to throw to rush down again and chip to death. As you can see, I took a little bit of damage from that break of the air grab. Right now we're trying to zone each other, finally get a knockdown to try to apply some pressure so I can build up that bar that I needed so I can activate the shield for longer. There we go, knockdown to shield. Basically at this point the only thing you can do is run away, and it's a little cheap to throw somebody while you're invincible. You know, thank you Bandai for making that possible. and push to the corner. Now it's a little rush down, and I got a random air-to-air. Up next, there's a match between Epion and Death Scythe. Enter that code to get Epion. You would think entering the code to get a character would mean that's the best character in the game. It's not always the case, apparently. Now, Epion is probably the best rushdown character in this game, which you pretty much need to be to fight Death Scythe. So you just want to get all in their face, constantly knock down, throw the whip move out whenever you really just can't think of anything better to do. And Death Scythe really is just try to land what I like to call the touch of death, because when he touches you, it's usually game over if they decide to infinite you to death. And see there, knocked down, locked in the corner, and you get some pressure. And there you go. See the whip? It's always a good move to do. You can anti-air, you can poke with it, you can just do it just to annoy people. It chips. Now, Death Scythe right here is just looking to land the touch of death. There it is right there. And as you can see, that's not really hard to do. Like in match, anytime you get touched, it will usually lead to that. Now this looks really dumb, just backwards, and you can't do anything about it. And I guess you could hit the controller out of somebody's hand. That's about all you can do to get out. But he did mess up, so now it's rush down time, and hopefully, you know, it can come back. But nope, random jab for the win. Good old Death Scythe. It's funny, you don't see a lot of moves from Death Scythe as far as doing the Dragon Punch, because now it's the touch of death. And it keeps building bar to do it. You know, normally you would think it takes 100 bar to do that EX projectile, and he's gonna do it anyway. So build up the bar, then touch of death. Game over. Can't rush down a character like that. Gundam Wing. Endless Duel. I'm not quite sure what I think about this game, because, you know, when I played it in the beginning, I was expecting it to be just like the Power Rangers game, you know, but with Gundams, and it really doesn't play anything like that. Now, there's lots of problems that I just think like are really stupid. Not even really a problem, but why would you give people dashes that allow you to block while you're doing them? So I can do this string and then cancel that string into this dash forward or backwards, you know, depending on if you want to rush down or keep away or jump, and you're able to block throughout all of that. And I think that's dumb. I also think that like the fact that they give people Dragon Punch moves that don't act as Dragon Punches because you can block while you're in the air. So I have an anti-air that doesn't actually hit you out of the air because you're just going to block it. That's really stupid. Or why do I take damage for like breaking a throw? So like I did the right thing. I was blocking, they try to throw me, I try to break a grab, and then I take damage. That's stupid. But all in all, I thought it was better than Power Rangers until you get to Death Scythe. Death Scythe makes the game not fun anymore. Like, I had lots of fun playing it with all the other characters, and then you get to this broke ass dude, and it's just like, oh nope, here we go, touch of death, game over. And every match ended like that. Once you found the infinite, which is really, it's not hard to do, but once you find it, it's just stupid. So if I was giving it, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, like the game would be a 4 until you put Death Scythe in, and then I think it becomes like a 2.5 or a 3.
Like as far as for fun, because Death Scythe isn't fun at all.
Well, I would give it like a 3.5. I don't think it's that bad just because of an infinite. Like, the character selection overall, I think, isn't that great because half of them really suck. Like, the ones we didn't show, typically, like, you know, everybody in the game pretty much maybe has 2 special moves. And their normals usually suck. Like, some people's crouching jab is a fucking slow-ass uppercut. Some people have blockable command grabs that have no purpose, and usually you can't hardly combo into them either. I don't know. I mean, like, most of them shoot stuff. So other people that just shoot things, you know, it's Gundam. Yeah, I know, it's Gundam. So you would expect everybody to shoot something.
I'm a big ass robot. What the hell do you expect them to do?
But that takes out most of the moves they could possibly have. Like, some of them have just multiple projectiles. Like, you play Heavy Arms, he sounds like something that would shoot a lot of things, and he does. He shoots a regular projectile, which you can use the Vulcan to do the same thing. Or he shoots kind of like a homing missile. It just kind of moves up and down, sort of trying to track the person, but not really. And that's about it. Like, all his normals are slow. Doesn't really have a good jump in that's worth anything. And then you look at somebody like V8, and it's, oh look, I got tons of range, but I can shoot too, and I can poke really well, and I get more damage off my throw than everybody else, and I don't know, I just like doing a little short hop shooting thing. I just thought it was cool to look at. I don't know if it's really that practical or not, but, you know, they have clearly more options than most of the other people in the game. So, like, when you think about it, you're down to, like, I guess the 4 people that we showed in the video. Plus Shane Long. We didn't show him in the video, but we have match videos that we put up later. But, I don't know, I'd say the game is about 3.5, because it's playable. You got, you know, the engine has something interesting to it. I see you shaking your head like this game is a fucking 2.5. But the engine at least has something that you can work with. You know, the combos, you know, I like them a little bit better than the Power Rangers one, because Power Rangers was pretty much, I'm going to jump in the air and slash you to death. Or, you know, a simple 3-hit ground string, which most of them in Gundam Wing are too. But you can at least run up and low sweep, and again, it's kind of funny.
At least in Power Rangers, you knew when you hit somebody that you could combo after it. Like, why does
you know that too? When Sandrock's just, I said there's only like 4 characters you can play in the game. That's not one of them, by the way. It's not Sandrock.
Sandrock has Rekkas, and they don't combo into anything. The last hit of it
the last hit will whip, yeah.
But you can't just do 2 hits.
Yeah, you
have to do all 3. And so you're automatically unsafe. So if you're fighting anybody that's any good, or Death Scythe you lost for even doing that move. And like, for trying to combo, that's stupid. For trying to combo against Death Scythe, you die. Game over. You can't rush Death Scythe down. You can't run away from him.
They're not good enough to rush down and keep away or anything. Like, so neglecting the other people in the cast. I mean, you got people in Power Rangers you neglect, like Silverhorns and
everybody is
Tiger,
fairly playable, except for
Tiger Megazord.
There's 2
not really playable.
There's 2 that aren't playable.
Yeah, but there's only 8 characters.
And what's with
you don't play Ivan Ooze for obvious reasons.
What's with Bandai giving people moves that are invincible? Like, in general, like Ivan Ooze had invulnerable
his was
strength.
More extreme.
But then you give the same move to a Gundam, except for you can throw this one. But it doesn't even matter, because once you activate it, like, you're invincible until you run out of meter.
It's not done on hit, luckily.
True.
I mean, it could be worse.
It could be worse, but like,
although this kind of gay to just be like block damage to death.
People making fighting games don't give somebody a move that is completely invincible and lasts forever.
Well, speaking of things not to give people in fighting games, no projectiles that teleport you right in front of the other guy and holds them still so that you can do the same thing over again. No moves that build so much bar that you can repeat doing the same move on somebody to begin with, which doesn't make any damn sense. And just because of Mortal Kombat, no ground pounds. That's gay. Especially when they're really fast. No one in this game has a ground pound, but I'm just getting all the things that were on my mind out of the way.
Alright, so...
No really slow projectiles. Like, a game that we will show you later. Well, I want to show, but nobody wants to play it. Look at Survival Arts. Look at Hiryu. It's funny.
Anyway, I guess overall is what the game of the 3. If you,
Yeah, I mean it's playable.
it's playable.
You can have fun
If you-
with it. Like y'all play Marvel.
If you like Gundam and you like fighting games, I'd say play this. If you like Marvel, play this because
Because it's perfect.
it's
You
broken.
don't mind things that are broken. You
It's
play
broken.
Marvel.
If you like Street Fighter 4, I'm gonna leave it at that. But
Yeah.
anyway, the game it's all right, so it's not trash.
So buy it from your local store. Buy it.